Welcome in everybody to Betting Pros. It's time to place your bets. It is me, Joe Pisapia, and this is BP NFL. We're looking ahead to the best bets of Week 7 in the NFL. And last week, the favorites bit back. And hopefully, these two guys are recovering from a tough week there. And they are ready to make a rebound after a really chalky Week 6. And I understand, guys, that, sometimes you want to fade the public. But every now and then, the public does win, and they are correct, which means we don't stray from what we do. No. We stick with the process. It's a long season. So, Terrell, is that the special sauce here, is to not let last week get you down and to just continue on with the process?
Yeah, don't you see my face? This is my locked in, very frustrated of how my last week's performance is.
Yes.
It's like, a player, like when they go and they interview the players after a loss, why are you interviewing me after I'm emotionally charged after losing a game? I had a bad week. I feel horrible about it. I'm sick and disgusted. But I also understand I do not bet with the public majority of the time. And when I do, is very, very seldom. And so the fact that the public had a really, really good week just means that I was going to have a bad week. So guess what? It's time to bounce back because no way the public cashes twice in a row.
It is. My upset special did not hit either, so it was a tough week. Erickson, I think I know what your problem is. Just not enough unders. So I brought here new sponsor of the show here, The Undertaker. The unofficial man here. Look at him. He is ready for Week 7.
Erickson,
now he's officially ready.
He's ready for the unders, baby. Let's go.
He's ready for the
Erickson,
unders. I
for
hope
that
there's some
performance last week. You are going one-on-one with the Undertaker.
Let's go, playa. All right, let's get to the picks for Week 7 in the NFL. And don't forget, everybody, the Betting Pros app is here for you. Download it on iOS and on Android. And, of course, sync your sportsbooks for free so you can track your bets across all of the major platforms. You can create custom betting systems, same-game parlay tool, the prop bet cheat sheet that Bogman and I use and we use on the Friday show, too. Check out all this stuff. It's free. And right now, you're getting a free month of premium. And this is a perfect time for it. If you've never used the app, you've got MLB, NFL, NBA, NHL. You got everything. All sports going on. Is there Quidditch? I think you could bet on Quidditch maybe too. So everything right now is ready for you. 30-day free trial of Betting Pros Premium. Download the Betting Pros app today. Let's start with the first bet of Week 7 here. Terrell, let's talk about the Seattle Seahawks. I know you got some feelings against them. And, all year, I feel like you're just not a fan of the Atlanta Falcons. I think Terrell has no love, I feel like, for the Atlanta Falcons. No matter what they do, they can't seem to get any love from you. So I'm not surprised by this at all. Take me through the Seahawks here and the points.
Yeah, I don't think the Seahawks are. I mean, not the Seahawks. I don't think the Falcons are a good team. I'm really, really hesitant on the Seahawks too, but this is a Seahawks spot. You're getting them as a dog. You're getting Geno Smith as a dog. I've been on here time after time telling you when we fade the Seahawks, and it's when you're laying points with Geno Smith. Now you're getting him plus the points, and you're getting him in Atlanta in a dome. So I think that he's going to be able to move the football. How do teams beat this Atlanta team? By running the football as well. And when Kenneth Walker gets 10 plus carries or gets a heavy workload in a game, the Seattle Seahawks are very, very good. I think they're going to be able to move the ball on the ground and be able to move the ball through the air on this defense. There's virtually no pass rush, so I think Geno Smith is going to have all day. And ultimately, what it is on the other side of the ball is I trust Mike McDaniel to craft up a defense that's going to get Kirk Cousins rattled. They're going to get to him. They're going to get pressure, and they're going to force him into mistakes with a really, really good secondary behind them. So I think this is a hammer spot. This is a great spot to get Seattle on a bounce back against a fraudulent Atlanta team. Like, I don't think any team in the NFC South is really worth much. But I definitely think the Bucs are probably the cream of the crop through there. I think Atlanta is just complete for show. They got lucky with the overtime win. They beat the Panthers. They went and had a comeback against the Eagles. Like, there hasn't been anything that really, really impressed me with the Atlanta Falcons, and I just don't think they should be laying points here. So I love getting 3 with Geno.
What do the Falcons have to do to impress you? NFC Championship game? Is that where it starts to build?
How about actually look good? How about actually rush the passer and have a defensive line? Like, you went out here and did all of this to get Matthew Judon, and the defensive line still sucks. That was something in the offseason you should have attacked with the draft pick. Maybe if you drafted an edge rusher instead of drafting Michael Penix, I would have something good to say about the Falcons. So,
Fair.
no, I have nothing good to say about the Falcons. I don't think
right.
they're being run right.
Andrew, upset special. Originally, I was leaning towards your next pick, actually, just to win outright on the money line. But the injury that cropped up yesterday with Drake May gives me pause. They say it's not a big deal, but he's going for an MRI. I have a hard time putting those two phrases in my brain together and having them make sense. So let's make sense of the Patriots here, because I know they keep telling me everything's fine. But I don't know why. I have a hard time believing them right now. But you still like the Patriots regardless, it seems like, with the points in London against the Jags. Let's talk about it.
I do, because I think Drake May is going to be fine. He practiced in full before getting the MRI, so we'll get more information about it. But I think that he'll be okay. I think he's going to play in this game, and that's why I like the Patriots. Plus 5.5 against Jacksonville. Should Jacksonville be favored by 5.5 points against any team in the NFL? That's the question I posed on the early look-ahead show, because I don't think they should be, because they're a horrible team, up and down across the board, on offense, on defense, horrible. They have failed to cover the spread in 8 of their last 12 games. They also play the league's highest rate of man coverage, despite not having the personnel to actually play in man coverage. So Jacksonville's just in a weird spot where they're doing things schematically that don't make sense based on today's NFL. They're playing a ton of man coverage when they don't have the guys to do it. They throw the ball downfield at the highest rate when teams are playing too high safeties all the time to stop downfield attacks. So, Doug Peterson, I think your days are numbered. Maybe you need to take out a timeshare in London, because I'm not sure you're going to be coming back to Jacksonville anytime soon. So I like the Patriots here with the points. I think Drake May is going to be able to run again. We hit, again, as bad as the picks against the spread were last week, the props were on fire. I wasn't even upset.
Props were good.
I thought even the process with Calvin Ridley was right. Zach Ertz, 1 yard away from scoring a touchdown on my anytime touchdown bet. So I felt great about the props. I think Drake May is going to run wild here. And last week, he drew one of the toughest matchups, the Texans, number 1 in the NFL in pass rush and pressure rate. And he threw 3 touchdowns. Yes, he did get sacked a couple times. He got banged up, but ultimately the offense moved the ball better than they had at any point with Jacoby Brissett. The Jaguars ranked 30th in pressure rate this season. So I think the matchup is significantly better for the Patriots and Drake May. As long as he's the quarterback, I like backing the Patriots here, plus 5.5, even in London.
Yeah, it feels like the Jags are already kind of throwing in the towel. It seems like things are not going well for them. We'll see. Coming off London, last time a team, came off a loss in London, if you recall, the coach got fired. So 2 losses. I don't know. You get fired, and then what? Like, what's the second thing that happens to you? We'll find out. Let's get to the
They tell you to go immediately home. Like, they're like, no, you don't have to wait for the plane. You can go fly commercial customs and just go home.
Yeah. All right. There you go. All right. Let's talk about the Packers and Texans. You were mentioning that pass rush of the Texans. Jordan Love, Terrell, loves to throw the football. Last week again, you saw some big moments out of Jordan Love, especially as the game went on there, utilizing Christian Watson, Romeo Dobbs, like all these guys were getting involved, which was great because Jaden Reed got banged up in that game. So do the Packers have enough here to beat the Texans at home?
Yes, they do. And it's because of the fact that they're at home and we're fading this Texans team on the road yet again. Like, this has not been a team that I think that I've wanted to back on the road. I know they played the Patriots on the road, but they gave up 21 points to Drake May in his first start. So, a little bit questionable about that there. And then look at what they did on the road against a competent offense this season. They got destroyed by the Minnesota Vikings. I think that this is a continuing from last season, where this Texans defense is really good at home, stout at home. They get up for big games at home. But when they go on the road, they have letdown spots. It reminds you of the Browns last year as well, who let down on the road. Like, I think that I'm just going to continue to fade this Texans team on the road, because it seems that everybody wants to be bought in on them being this world-class team. But there's kind of a night and day difference between how they're scoring lets up on defense on the road than at home. And if you sit here and you tell me that this Packers defense is going to be opportunistic, like Xavier McKinney has been all year, be able to force turnovers to this Texans offense, keep them rattled, Jordan Love and this Packers receiving core has been locked in, and I think they're 100% going to be throwing all around the field this game. I like Jordan Love and this offense laying 2.5, the short number here against Texans.
Yeah, I agree. I think they pull this one out here. Texans, too, without Nico Collins, not quite the same as Texans, in my opinion. Although last week did have some moments that were this against the Patriots. I think a little bit different here against that Green Bay defense, especially the secondary. Let's get to Erickson's second pick of the week. I've got a lot of feelings about this game, but I'm going to save him for later. Let's talk about Miami and Indianapolis. I want to hear yours here because we're not at the stage where we're getting Tua back. We still have a lot of weapons in Miami, not much defense in Miami, not much defense for Indianapolis. So returning Anthony Richardson is looming here, but a lot of injuries on this front here for the Colts that they're dealing with too. Maybe that bye week is what the Miami Dolphins needed to get back on track. I don't know. But Andrew, how do you feel about this contest here coming up in week 7 between the Colts and the Miami Dolphins?
I like the over in this game. Over 43.5 points. You look at the Colts team, especially when they play at home. This is a team that typically trends towards the over because their defense is horrible. 6 of the last 8 Colts games when they've been favored, they've gone over the total points. When I'm looking at the matchup, I think we have 2 of the better offensive minds going head-to-head in this spot. The strengths of these teams are not their defenses in any shape or form. You look at Shane Steichen versus Mike McDaniel. Mike McDaniel has been working in the lab. They had the bye week. If we're ever going to see a great performance or an average performance from this offense with Tyler Huntley under center, it would come this week against the Indianapolis Colts because their defense can't stop the pass. Their defense can't stop the run. I just think that we're going to see points here. We're going to finally see Tyreek Hill cash in on some of these air yards and targets that he's been getting with Tyler Huntley over the last couple of weeks. I know that it's been tough, especially in fantasy football, rostering these Dolphins players because, hey, just you're poking the stick. Please do something. Please do something. I think this week you're going to see at least one of these playmakers make a big play, and I think you're going to cause this game to kind of get a little wacky. You have Anthony Richardson back at quarterback for the Colts. Yes, he's wicked inconsistent, but he also generates a lot of big plays because he's got a cannon arm, and sometimes it results in plays for his offense or the opposing team's defense. So I think this game, playing inside a dome, could get kind of wacky. With 2 weeks to prepare, I think Miami's offense shows its best form, at least to an average level, and I think that the total at 43.5 is low based on what we would expect from these 2 high-powered offenses entering the NFL season. Obviously, have been disappointing because of injuries, but I think they both get back on track, so I like the over here.
All right, so that's Erickson's pick, and don't forget to make your picks work for you with the Betting Pros app. Go to bettingpros.com/NFL contest, join the contest, and sync your sportsbooks. But use the quick pick feature to log your bets because when you do that and you join the NFL contest, you can win weekly and monthly prizes. We're handing them out every single week to the best bets of the week. And remember, you don't even have to be betting on it. You're just making picks in the NFL contest. So it's super fun to get involved. There's no money at risk. It's all upside for you. Make some picks, have some fun, win some free stuff. bettingpros.com/NFL contest. Or if you have the app, just go to the community tab and look for NFL contest and continue to, get smarter here. Join our Discord, fantasypros.com, and of course, bettingpros.com/chat. Those Discords are open for you in the Betting Pros Discord right now. You're getting Matt Peralta in there, always answering questions. He's posting picks. I know Andrew's in there too, answering questions. And we're going to be doing more stuff throughout the year, especially as the fantasy season starts to wind down a little bit. The betting season is going to ramp up and get hotter. So we're going to be doing a lot of stuff on our Discord community. So join it today at bettingpros.com/chat. All right, let's get back to you, Terrell. I know both of you guys have feelings about Lions-Vikings. I wonder if they're the same feeling or not. So Vikings coming off the bye here, coming off a big win, beat the Jets. The Lions coming off a huge win where they beat the hell out of the Cowboys in their building, but they did lose Aiden Hutchinson. So, Terrell, Lions-Vikings, probably the marquee matchup of the week. What are your thoughts?
Well, I would first like it to be said that I put my picks into the sheet first. So I want everybody to know that that may or may not come up. I'm just letting you know, but I got there first this time.
It actually came up before you showed up for the show. Andrew said, "Oh, Terrell and I are holding hands on the Vikings." So spoiler alert.
I just want to be right, man. After last week 0-5, I'll tail, baby. Let's go.
No, but I love the under here, under 50.5. And I think that everybody looks at and hears Justin Jefferson in this game. They see how the Vikings have been this season and Sam Darnold's been moving the football. And that Jared Goff and this Lions offense just now, especially after demolishing the Cowboys, everybody's thinking points. But you got to remember, Sam Darnold only completed 45% of his passes in London. Like, he seems to have started to come down a little bit, and look at both of these defenses. Like, they've been live. I don't know if there's a defensive coordinator of the year, but just put Brian Flores' name next to it because that's 100% what he is. And he's probably coaching himself into another head coaching job at some point. Mm-hmm. And so looking at DVOA, pass DVOA, Minnesota ranks first in rush DVOA. Detroit is fourth in pass DVOA, fourth in overall DVOA. I think that this is a really, really good opportunity here where you're going to see everybody talking about it. They're going to talk about it in DFS. They're going to talk about it everywhere. Hey, this is where the points are going to be. Do your touchdown parlays. Throw these people in your DFS lineup. No, I actually think this is going to be one of those slower, hard-fought. Defense is going to step up because Aiden Hutchinson is out. I think they really, really target the line of scrimmage here and just try to get Sam Darnold on his butt and not let him be comfortable in the pocket. And this Minnesota Vikings defense has been throwing weird, obscene looks at every quarterback this season, and they've been able to force turnovers. And I think that Jared Goff is definitely going to throw them one. So I like the defenses overall here. I think they are the side of the football that everybody should be talking about, not the offensive side. So I don't think it's going to be a lot of points.
All right, Erickson, what do you want to add to the under here? Because obviously you are in lockstep with Terrell on this one.
Yes, the Undertaker approves of this message and this pick of the
Love
Lions
it.
and Vikings under 50 and a half points. I'll just throw out some stats here, kind of just backing up the points that Terrell already made. You look at Sam Darnold, so basically since week 4, the only quarterback that has a worse PFF passing grade than Sam Darnold is Will Levis.
Sean Watson.
No, no.
Dang
Good
it.
guess. Good guess.
Dang it. I tried to get it. I thought we was going to say it at the same time.
Deshaun Watson's probably right in that same range, but he has not been as good as he had started the year, weeks 1 through 3, when he was basically flawless. He's thrown a lot of interceptions so far this season. And when you look at the Vikings, I just think, they're not being highlighted enough on defense, like Terrell said. You look at what they've done at home since the start of 2023. They are 2-8-1. That's the over-under for their record at home. Well, there's only 2 games that have gone over in Minnesota since the start of 2023. 8 unders. 8. So I think that this one, especially at the bloated total, I think we talked about this, Joe, on the look-ahead show where I looked at this number. I think it's actually been bet down. I think it actually opened closer to 51.5. I think it's actually starting to trend down, but still at 50.5 points. Yeah, I love the under here too.
Looking at the passing raters right now, the rating, where everyone, Deshaun Watson is 28th in the league. Just putting that out there. So there you go. The company he has, it seems
and he's
like
going to get a win this week, unfortunately.
Yikes. All right. I'm going to leave that one.
Hey, well, fun fact. I know we don't have this on the card.
That game does scare me. I'm not going to lie. That game scares the crap out of me.
But I just want everybody to know that the Bengals have not beaten the Browns in Cleveland since the season that the Browns went 0-16. That was the last time.
So bad.
I know. It's why I haven't bet it.
They did not win a game at all was the last time the Bengals were able to beat them in Cleveland. I just feel like if you're willing to lay 5.5 with the Bengals on that, right on.
Bro, that's why I didn't pick.
Burrow against
should have made them upset special.
Burrow against the AFC North, he always plays bad. Against the Browns, against the Ravens, against the Steelers,
Well, not so much against the Ravens. They've got some big totals against the Ravens. He's at least played
before last week, he had not had any massive games against the Ravens in a while.
No, that's not true. A couple years ago against the Ravens, he had that incredible overtime game. He's only been playing a couple years in the league, and he's missed some time with injuries, so there's only so much sample size I can take out of there. All right. The one thing I can always take out of these conversations is, I've been in this a long time, and if you were watching the shows last year, betting Patrick Mahomes as an underdog is something that in the playoffs last year was very, very good to me. And I see it there on the board. I've already bet it. I'm already in. So, Terrell, let's talk about it. Chiefs 49ers. How do you want to approach this one? I'm just going straight to the Kansas City Chiefs coming off a bye. The 49ers might have all the revenge narrative in the world that they want here to get. I don't care. I don't want to hear it. The preparation of the Chiefs, I think, wins out here. And at the end of the day, I mean, the 49ers just, to me, have been unimpressive all year. Your thoughts?
Yeah, and Patrick Mahomes is 4-0 against the Niners, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, as president of Patrick Mahomes fan club, there's no way I'm fading Patrick Mahomes as a dog here.
Is he going to score fantasy points this week, Terrell, please?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he
well,
is.
Juju Smith-Schuster's there now, so everything's fine.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
everything's fine.
He does what they need. He does what he needs to do to get a win. Nobody has forced him to have to be a crazy passer to get a win, but I think
that's not what fantasy managers want to hear, Terrell. We want to get 300 yards. We want 4 tutties.
No, he's going to give you a solid 18. It's going to be a solid 18. You're not going to be mad, but it's just not going to be the big week. And the reason it's not going to be the big week is because the San Francisco defense is still pretty good. And so I, being the forward thinker that I am, knew that both of you would be on the Chiefs. And I said, wait, I want to give the people more bets. So I'm going to pivot And I'm going to play a play that I love as well, and that's the under 47 in this game because you mentioned Patrick Mahomes. You mentioned Patrick Mahomes. I mentioned Patrick Mahomes. But yet, nobody has mentioned this Chiefs defense that is absolutely stout and is the reason that they're 5-0 this season. They've been playing absolutely amazing. And we saw this last season. Last season, the Chiefs defense was the story. And so Spagnuolo has made this a defensive team that's going to rock every single opponent. And I've seen with the offensive line, with Brock Purdy, him be rattled multiple times this season already. I think he's going to get rattled here. I think Chris Jones is going to be able to get home. I think Karlaftis is going to be able to get home on that defensive line. And then on the other side of the ball, the 49ers are going to try to get up. They're going to try to play hard on defense. Fred and Warner, all those guys, they're going to be like, hey, we don't want to lose to this team again. So I think that we're going to see high-intensity defense on both sides of the ball. And it's going to be one of the uglier games. Like, this is another game where people are probably throwing it into DFS and all of that. I would love to see DFS ownership in this game as well. I don't think this is going to be it. I think it's going to be an under. So, are you going to get your 30 points from Patrick Mahomes? No. But you might get 18.
All right. I'll take the 18 with the way things are going. Erickson, let's get your thoughts on the Chiefs game too. Do you want to just take Chiefs straight up on the money line, or you want to take the points? Where do you want to go?
Take the points, take the money line, take them to win by a touchdown. I just want the Chiefs, man. I just want the Chiefs. We did this all last year when the Chiefs were underdogs, and what did they do? They just kept winning every single game. Their last 7 games as underdogs, 7-0. Patrick Mahomes as an underdog in his career, 88% against the spread. That is the highest percentage for any quarterback as an underdog, as a favorite among any of these starting quarterbacks. If you just blindly bet Mahomes as an underdog, you're going to win money. So trust the process. Just keep betting on Patrick Mahomes, especially when you look at the 49ers, what they've done at home historically. They've been super overrated against the spread. They haven't covered the spread in 8 of their last 10 home games. Now, they've done it twice this year against who? The Jets and Patriots. Yeah. Really impressive wins against those teams covering the spread, and they didn't cover against the Cardinals. So I think that, just the way to not enjoy Sunday is to bet against Patrick Mahomes. It's going to be so much more fun knowing that you bet on Mahomes in this matchup. So have fun on Sunday. Bet the Chiefs.
By the way, actually, you know what? Maybe I'm going to save this. Maybe I'm going to change my parlay of the day. There's a same game parlay. Maybe I'll just do 2. I'm going to give 2. It's bonus time because last week wasn't good, so we got to give bonuses out. That's what we're going to do. We're going to bonus it up. Let's get to the next one and final one of the game before we get to the upset special and the parlay of the week 2. Let's get to the Chargers game here. Terrell, I like this one too. You're on the Chargers, the -2.5. Let's talk about it because this one stuck out to me too because I'm just tired of Arizona. They're going to be without Marvin Harrison most likely. That hasn't come official yet, but it seems to be trending that way. I'm just, I thought Arizona might be the plucky underdog this year to surprise people. That hope is gone for me. It's dead.
Yeah, absolutely not. And I know Kyler is a dog, all of that stuff, blah, blah, blah. But at this point, this defense is horrible. This defense is really bad, and I think they're going to give up a bunch of points. My question on Justin Herbert was, how healthy is he? How locked in can John Harbaugh get this team on offense? Because defense, you can 100% point to Jim Harbaugh being the guy that invigorated this defense. These are the same players as last year for a defense that was horrible, and they're actually really good. Like that, these are the exact same players, but he's coaching them up, and they're playing really, really well on that side of the ball. You look at Arizona on the other side of the ball, 28th in pass DVOA. That's not going to get you any favors playing against this Chargers team, especially with Justin Herbert moving the ball down the field. If you can't get pressure on Herbert, he's going to pick you apart. I don't think this is relatively going to be that close. I think that the Chargers are going to run away with this because they are a far better team. And I am just not a believer in this Cardinals team right now. So, no, I think the Chargers are going to go out here and get a win. Plus, this team looks forward to being on the road because they have no home field.
No, it's certainly some good context there. And I'm with you 100% on this one. Erickson, last one for you. The Titans go to Buffalo. Buffalo got their new wide receiver, Amari Cooper, so everyone's very excited about that. Buffalo, kind of was struggle bus a little bit there against the Jets. A good defense, and I don't know if Amari Cooper can come in 1 week and make that much of a difference, but the bigger issue to me is the James Cook injury and how that impacts this offense potentially too. So Titans are 9-point underdogs in this game, 9.5, some other markets here. How are you approaching this one?
It's too many points. So I'm taking the Titans here, plus 9.5. I don't care. Again, it's a pick 6 for Will Levis, not a pick 9.5 points. The last time I checked, that's how much a pick 6 is. It's 6 points, not 9.5. So
it feels like 9.5 for your Titans fan, though.
It does. But, there's just too many points here. Even if you get the boneheaded Will Levis turnover, yes, but we're covered because we got 9.5 points to work with here. I just think that schematically, matchup-wise, the Bills don't really match up that great against the Titans. You saw them run the ball down the throats of the New York Jets. Well, the Titans have the number 1 stuff rate in the NFL against the run. They also rank top 5 in terms of yards per pass attempt allowed. So this is a very good defense. And what's the Bills' biggest weakness on their side of the field on defense is against the run. We saw Breece Hall run wild against the Buffalo Bills defense. And how do you protect Will Levis from losing the game? You establish the run. Tony Pollard is going to get 20-plus carries in this matchup. Tajay Spears is going to miss this game. So you're going to get prime Tony Pollard against this Bills run defense. I think they're going to keep it close. I like the under in this game. I think this is an ugly game. Again, the Bills coming off Monday night game, an emotional win over an AFC team, an AFC East rival. They got Amari Cooper. He's not going to fix all the problems in 1 week. They have serious problems still in the passing game. I think it's going to take a little bit of time. So ultimately, yes, I think the Bills are going to pull out the win, but I think it's going to be ugly, and I think the Titans keep it close. So Titans plus 9.5 for me.
And the Bills struggle against running backs this year, catching the football out of the backfield. That's why we took advantage of the Breece Hall thing earlier on Monday night. If you were following us on social media, you caught my Monday bets. It was over on Breece Hall receiving, over on Breece Hall
It was
rushing.
over on Breece Hall everything.
It was just over on Breece Hall. It was just over. I didn't bet him to score a touchdown because my faith in the Jets offense is shook. Is that the easy way to say it? I don't know. But Tony Pollard, especially having that backfield to himself, now that's a guy in the DFS world I'm curious about. That's a guy tomorrow I hope we're talking about on the prop show too, because we better be. I don't know what those lines are yet for Tony Pollard. I haven't checked him out yet, but I think it's going to be overs for Uncle Joe. All right, let's talk about the upset special of the week. Look, Colts defense is bad. Josh Downs isn't healthy. Jonathan Taylor is not healthy. Michael Pittman's trying to play. He's not healthy. I don't know if Anthony Richardson is healthy. We'll see. We'll find out. And the Colts have had some matchups that were kind of in their favor the last couple weeks. So I think that a week off to kind of reset the brain, give Tyler Huntley a lot more practice, a lot more time with the playbook, a lot more time with his weapons to get the timing down, I think can go a long way. I like the Dolphins on the road here on the money line, plus 134. You could take the points too, plus 3 at minus 110. But I think finally this is where both defenses are bad. I'm not touching the over-under. I'm not touching this. Just too many ranges of outcomes. But I think at the end of the day, it's the Dolphins finding a victory and scratching and clawing their way back into relevance here and hopefully getting Tua back. Now, I promise you a bonus. So let's get to the parlay of the week. Let's take those Dolphins on the money line. Even if the Titans cover, I don't think the Bills lose this football game. So give me the Bills, heavy juice on the money line, and the Chiefs on the money line. Give me Dolphins, Bills, Chiefs, 3 money line bets. You get plus 464 when you put those 3 things together. I like that. And the same game parlay of the week. If you take the Chiefs with the points, the Chiefs on the money line, and the under that Terrell was talking about, you get plus 245. So you want to go Chiefs? That's the way to go, Chiefs. Just go all in, baby. Great stuff, gentlemen. Very exciting. Terrell, before we go, any quick thoughts about what the Steelers are doing here with this quarterback situation? Because I was kind of curious what your take is.
So, I don't think that it is a foregone thing that people know that I think Russ sucks. He's not good.
You're not alone.
He's not a person that you want to be around. He's a cancer to a locker room. He's like the Jehovah's Witness that just comes around and just constantly knocks on the door. And you don't want to turn them away because you think that they're doing good work. But they're just really annoying because they keep coming at the worst optimal times. And this is probably the worst optimal time for Russell Wilson to be making a start against the Jets, because what if the Jets now win this game and now you're like, oh, dang, we went to Russ and we gave up a win to the Jets who everybody says
in your conference. That's what I keep saying. Why would you do this in a conference game? You want to screw around with Russell Wilson and give him one shot? Maybe you got some trade value. Maybe the Tennessee Titans want to call you up and make a trade for Russell Wilson because it's better than Will Levis.
What I will say is that Mike Tomlin is my frat brother. Both 757 VA guys. We have a lot of connections with each other. I trust my guy. He turned a team around with Mason Rudolph and Duck Hodges. I trust Tomlin. I'm just letting you know, my brother, this is a hard decision to trust you with right now, but I'm going to trust you. But I'm telling you, you're not making it easy on me. You're really not.
Things are going to
That's
get
my
ugly at
thoughts
the
on
reunion.
Russ.
I'm telling you right now, next year at that reunion, there's going to be some words there at the open bar. Great stuff, gentlemen, as always. Don't forget, download the Betting Pros app. And, of course, hit up bettingpros.com for even more content. And, of course, subscribe to the channel and the podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're out here every single day making betting content for you. That'll do it for us. But the story of the game goes on. For Andrew Erickson and Terrell Furman, I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids.
And The Undertaker.